So what would have happened if the Fantastic Four were Russian cosmonauts instead of US astronauts? As the rocket headed back for Earth, the rocket began breaking apart. It was an absolute disaster. The rocket exploded, but they all managed to survive, and their capsule brought them safely back down to Earth. Stalin was upset that the expensive rocket had been destroyed, and that nothing had truly been achieved. However, Lieutenant von Doom convinced Stalin that they had gained something from the mission after all, because all of the cosmonauts had been changed by the unknown radiation. They had become the ultimate Federalist freedom fighters. Bit of a mouthful. Anyways, they had all gained incredible abilities. Pyotr Rasputin had become a colossus of steel and had gained unimaginable strength. His sister Ilyana had gained the power of camouflage, and she could go unseen in any situation. Commander Rudion Richards became able to open up discontinuities in his body, which allowed him to project his body parts over long distances by creating ruptures in the fabric of space. Major Natasha Romanoff's electromagnetic field had increased 1,000-fold, which allowed her to fly and shoot lethal doses of energy. Stalin questioned the cosmonauts to figure out if they were loyal or not. He questioned why Richards had an American name. Richards said that his father was an American soldier during the Great War who had gotten with a peasant girl. Together they had him. Stalin commented that that was typical behavior for a Westerner and a rural peasant. Richards assured Stalin that he was loyal. So Stalin then asked von Doom what he wanted to do with the team. Von Doom said he wanted them to become an active combat unit led by Commander Richards, with Corporal Ilyana being their KGB liaison. He said that they would be their vanguard to expand into Eastern Europe. Stalin gave him permission to proceed with the plan. So they were sent to all sorts of nations like Ukraine and Hungary to expand the influence of the Soviet Union. Eventually, they were being used to quell civilian uprisings with the expectation that they use deadly force to stop the mobs. This unsettled Richards. He said that this isn't what Stalin had promised them. He wanted to fight soldiers, not unarmed civilians. Ilyana told him that Stalin was dead and the KGB gave them their orders now. Their newest order was to go to Cuba, but before he went, Richards went to visit his father in prison to say goodbye and get closure. After they went to Cuba, the Avengers arrived to try and get them to go back to the Soviet Union. They refused and told the Avengers to leave Cuba. Eventually, a fight broke out that ended in the death of both Ant-Man and Ilyana. Richards stopped the fight, saying, "Enough, you win." He then used his powers to teleport them all back to the Soviet Union. Captain America said that nobody had truly won there. They arrived back in the Soviet Union and confronted the leaders. Richards told them they had used them for terrible purposes and told them they had become clowns and criminals. They didn't like this very much and ordered Romanoff to kill Richards. Richards said violence and murder is not right, but Romanoff disagreed and said she was trained by the KGB and violence and murder is the tool she is most comfortable with. He then killed the corrupt leaders, and the three of them then took over as the new leaders of the USSR.